Coming up on Colonial Sports Center, it's the bracketology episode. We're going to look at each team and see where they stand in the playoff standings.
Also coming up, women's hockey RIT's senior day. See if the Colonials can lock up that home series.
Coming up next. And welcome back to another episode of Colonial Sports Center, where crab legs are certainly a felony. I'm John Fisher alongside Dante Verme. It's a pleasure to have you back.
It's the second coming.
It is the second coming. Yeah. So we have men's basketball results, not what we were looking for. The Sacred Heart Pioneers take down the Colonials 80-76. If there's a bright spot, if there is one, Rodney Pryor with 31 points.
There's no bueno, but 30 points is 30 points.
You know who else had 30 points?
Who?
I'm sure John Wall did one time or that. That one's for Kyle
Once or
Dorsey.
twice, yeah.
So anyway, we have Haley Sawyer going in depth on two hockey players on the men's side on their long treks to Moon Township and other such fun shenanigans.
Fun shenanigans, always here on Colonial Sports Center.
Absolutely. So on ESPN yesterday, they asked fans who the greatest sports rivalries were. Lakers and Celtics, LeBron James and the Spurs. But they forgot one, and that is the often underestimated LIU Brooklyn and Robert Morris men's basketball rivalry. The Blackbirds got the best of Robert Morris as they shot over 52% at the Sewell Center last week. LIU Brooklyn overcame a 15-point deficit in the second half to improve to 7-6 in league play. As for the Colonials, who now stand in third place after tonight's contest, it wasn't all bad news bears, was it, Dante?
No, it wasn't. Less than 48 hours later, the Colonials took to the court looking to split the two-game homestand against Central Connecticut State. RMU trailed by as much as 11 in the second half. Down by 1 in the game's dying seconds, Aaron Tate was able to tip in a Marquise Reed shot that bounced not 1, not 2, but 3 times off the rim. And as the clock expired and the Sewell Center crowd went into pandemonium as the Colonials would walk away with a 52-53 buzzer beater victory.
And talk about suspense, almost came out of the show 24. At CSC, we love to play the what if game. So what if? The season ended today in men's basketball. Here's a look at the bracket. Taking a look at the standings, St. Francis Brooklyn is in good spirits with a 3-game lead on everyone else. As for positions 2 through 8, that's what we call danger zone. I'm waiting for Kenny Loggins to sue me. RMU and Bryant are tied for second, but the 4 through 6 seeds are tied. On top of that, Wagner and Sacred Heart are only 1 game apart, which are the last 2 seeds. Anything can happen. Just ask Pete Carroll.
It's safe to say that the men's basketball team has had their fair share of ups and downs this season, but with only 3 games left, how does the team look into the crystal ball known as the future? Here's Ian Kist with the story.
Season is wrapping up and the NEC tournament is right around the corner. How will this RMU men's basketball team prepare for the tough task ahead, the battle of the NEC?
I would say we would just have to stay focused. That's one thing we've been dealing with lately. We would do something good and then we'd lose focus and start joking around. But as long as we can keep our focus and keep our eyes locked on the goal to which we want to do, then I think we can make a good run.
Seeing every team they will face in the tournament twice already in regular season makes it difficult in the tournament in terms of preparation.
Me individually, I just got to make sure I stay true to what I do, make sure I'm getting up shots, keeping my shot polished, make sure I'm staying consistent with my rehab, making sure my legs are strong so I can go in and play vital minutes throughout the course of the game to stay strong defensively and offensively to help my team win a game. Just coming focused to every practice and making sure you're getting the practice plan out the way and making sure we're preparing the right way for the game, because once tournament play come in, it's all about playing harder and playing with more details than the other team.
It's whatever you did earlier doesn't matter. Whatever you do now, you play, and you play for the championship game.
All this team needs to do is stay focused and remember what their goal is, to capture the NEC championship. I'm Ian Kist, Colonial Sports Center.
Thank you very much, Ian. Now, if you want to hear about a team that just cannot lose, then look no further than the women's basketball team. The last time they lost was January 10th. That's also the last time Brian Williams was credible. The Colonials are very credible, however, after knocking off the Blue Devils for their 10th straight victory. Could they make it 11? Enjoy the suspense for 4 seconds.
While the air in Western PA has been bone-chillingly cold, the RMU women's basketball team has been red hot. And could RMU continue its 10-game winning streak against the Blackbirds of LIU? Well, I don't know the answer, but let's find out watching this highlight.
She wasn't cold as ice. She was hot as ice.
Oh, what was
Like dry ice, you know.
Last time RMU won 77-58 over the Blackbirds, and early on, it was Drew Winter with a nice move inside for the first points of the game, almost 2 minutes without points. Then Michaela Moreau to Ananiki Stanley for three. Hold on to those threes. There's like a lot of them. See Lou Matali with the shot, she misses.
Well, that wasn't
but
a three.
John Jones
Come on.
able to put it in. Midway through the first, Matali makes the three on the feed from Megan Smith, and then back to Matali, same spot. I promise this isn't a replay. It's 2 shots, 2 threes there, and then the Blackbirds turn it over 2-on-0 the other way. Jocelyn Jones takes it all the way herself, and at halftime, RMU up 33-19.
What if I told you that that was really a replay?
What if I told you that Ananiki Stanley made another three, because she did there? And the Colonials, look at this ball movement. Look at that ball movement, it's so pretty. Megan Smith, you get a three, and you get a three. And there's another turnover from the Blackbirds. It's Jones again with the bucket.
I thought you were going for Oprah.
I was going for Oprah. You get a three, you get a three. And look, it's another three. Janae Brown gets one too.
She got that from the bank.
And then Ananiki with a turnover down in her own and 2-on-0 the other way. It's Shanice Vaughn on the fast break. And look, Lou Matali, she gets a three too. How about that? And then
This is awesome.
another bucket for the Colonials. I told you the second coming was going to be good. Judith Soleil to Shaquem Dashel. She gets a three too, the final.
You came home just like KD will.
The Colonials soared past the Blackbirds, shooting 40% from within the arc, and Nikki Stamalampu scored 13 points for the Colonials, and Lou Matali went 4 for 9 from three-point range. By defeating LIU, RMU now increases their winning streak to 11 and will take that winning streak into Bryan on Saturday in a battle of first and second place in the NEC. RMU's 11-game winning streak has kept them in first place of the NEC. Now, in anticipation of this weekend's number 1 versus number 2 matchup against Bryant, here's what the current brackets for the NEC tournament look like. The race for the number 1 seed is currently a logjam, with RMU sitting in first, CCSU and Bryant tied for second, and both a game behind the Colonials. If RMU falls at Bryant and CCSU takes care of business at home versus Sacred Heart on Saturday, we could be heading into next week with a 3-way tie for first place in the NEC.
You know what? Not bad. The second coming is here. So, coming up next, we're going to do this a little lighthearted. More bracketology for you, but this time on the ice. We're going to tell you where the men and women lie in their respective standings. Also, speaking of the women's hockey team,
Senior Day 2015, we'll get the highlights from the women's series against RIT. Could they win? Could they lose? They could also draw.
on top of that, here's what we call in the biz a 3-part tease. Part 2, Haley Sawyer sits down with Matt Cope and Brady Ferguson to hear about their long treks. One's from the south, one's from the west. Which one's which? We'll tell you next.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
And that's when you break. Let the smile cover your face. That's when you break. The audience is eating it up. That's when you break. Let the smile cover your face. That's when you break.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
RMU defensive line coach Cornelius Coleman was one of 30 NCAA assistants selected to attend the NCAA and NFL Coaches Academy. This is the 5th year for the Academy, and its keynote speakers this year are ex-NFL coach Dennis Green and NFL Network analyst Charlie Casserly. Coleman helped Forrest Mason, defensive lineman, claim all NEC honors in only 7 games this season. Are you going to do like a Dennis Green? They are who we thought they were.
They are who they thought we were. To say this season for the RMU men's hockey team has been incredible would be such an understatement. Already timed the program record for wins. The Colonials traveled to Rochester to take on the Tigers of RIT. The last time the Colonials were in the City of Flowers, they walked out Atlantic Hockey Tournament champions. Here's a few words from head coach Derek Schooley on the final road weekend series of the season.
You want to be playing your best hockey in playoff time, and we were fortunate last year to be playing some of our best hockey down the stretch. Right now we're on an 8-game unbeaten streak, which means we've been playing pretty well, actually. Hopefully the bye week doesn't change any of our momentum or change anything that we've been accustomed to do. Obviously, coming off a bye weekend, you got to make sure you're ready to go right off the bat, and you have to get back into your game after an off weekend. So there's some challenges coming off an off weekend, but for us it came at a great time. We had a lot of travel to Boston and to Colorado, and then a tough series with Canisius. So it was a good time for us to recharge and rejuvenate and be ready for the Final Four and playoffs. We played RIT very early. We were very fortunate to get 4 points here at home, and they've had a lot of guys emerge since then. Their top line is doing outstanding with Garbowski leading the way. So a lot of guys get a lot more confident as the season goes on. So you're playing against a different team. You're not playing the same team you played early in the year.
Matt Garbowski, as Coach just told you, 40 points. He leads the league. Cody Wido one back at 39. Zach Lynch right there with 35. So some high-octane offense potentially in store this weekend, as we saw here at 84 Lumber Arena over Halloween.
Matt, consider this a bracketology special come early on Colonial Sports Center as we dive into the men's side now on the ice. The Colonials will look to capture their first ever AHC regular season crown, like Dante told you, this weekend at RIT. All they need is 2 points in the final 4 games. As for the rest of the bracket, Bentley, Mercyhurst, and Canisius will round out the top 4. As for the bottom 4, they are 5 points apart. It's not as condensed as the men's basketball standings, but crunch time is now upon us.
There's only 49 days left to vote for the Hobey Baker Award. Cody Wido currently has almost 3,000 votes as of about an hour and a half ago. To put that into perspective, current Boston University forward and consensus number 2 pick in the upcoming 2015 NHL Draft, Jack Eichel, is trailing Mr. Wido by almost 700 votes. And to put that in perspective, is pretty good. Continue to show your support by going to www.hobeybaker./award/the-hobey-baker-memorial-award/vote. You can vote once a day until April 4th.
Wow. Don't forget to check out other fine programming at RMU Television. It's your one-stop turkey jerky shop for your RMU TV needs. For more on RMU Live, campus stories trending now, or any great web series, visit RMUCenturyMedia.com. Turkey jerky's good, by the way. RMU women's hockey hosted RIT on senior weekend. Rebecca Vint, Maddie Coolius, Caitlin Scott, Kelsey Gunn, Erin Stanuski, and Katie Fergus were gearing up for their last regular season weekend as Colonials. Let's gleefully trot off to the 84 Lumber Arena, shall we? The show Glee sucks, by the way. Just had to throw that out there. So as we look at a few of the seniors there on your screen now, Jess Patron down the left side and stopped by Jessica Dodds early on. That was midway through the first period. Now Catherine Murphy from the point, and just not enough mustard on the shot. Not enough mustard. I like mustard on my hot dogs.
I don't like mustard on my hot dogs.
That's because you don't like good food. So talk about highway and talk about highway robbery, if I could say it right, and talk about, look what I found, Jessica Dodds with a masterful save with the glove. Now, still on the first.
She's someone that doesn't eat mustard. That's why she's so good.
Well, probably. The puck had eyes here, and so did Morgan Scoyne. Mackenzie Stone topped it. What am I doing? Tapped it in on the power play, 1-0 RIT. Now, minutes later, Amanda Pantaleo drops it off for Jessica Zola, but no bueno, mademoiselle. She is stopped by Binnington. That's Allie Binnington in net. Second period we go. Shortly after the start of the second, Caitlin Wallace had chance in front, but what a clutch. She fell on the job. Slacker. Now nearing the period's end, Mackenzie Johnson, mano-a-mano, but Binnington wins that one. Now, a minute later, Rebecca Vint scoring goals like a boss.
Like a boss.
Doing anchor jobs.
Like
a boss. Seconds later, in the second, Marissa Malgeri says, wait just a hot second. That's 2-1 RIT. Quickly in the third, 7 minutes in, quick save by Bennington. But here's Katie Fergus, and this will tie the game. And just to keep the fans in the seats a little longer, it went to overtime, and to no avail.
Free hockey.
It was free hockey, and that was it, though. In Game 1, the Tigers and Colonials battled 65 minutes to a stalemate. Neither team could get the win, so RMU's hopes of hosting a playoff series is still intact. Could they pull off a victory on Senior Day last Saturday? Dante has the result that will make jaws drop and eyes widen, probably like a boss.
Oh, I hope so. Following the tie Friday night, both RMU and RIT return to the ice less than 24 hours later. And could the Colonials pull off this victory on Senior Day for the class of 2015? You forgot someone when you mentioned the senior class. Megan Eady.
Oh!
She got done early. But let's go to the highlights.
Well, that's
shall
not
we?
fair.
She got done early. She did everything that we do in 4 years in 3. You see the class of 2015 being honored with their families and close loved ones. Just over a minute in, Colby McCrae puts in the rebound off the Carly Perrell shot. 1-0 RIT, but hold on. This gets fun. Almost 30 seconds
holding on
later,
more than you think.
Ashley Vesey bum rushes the goal. Allie Bigington can't hold on to the puck. It finds its way home. That's her 6th of the season, and we're tied at 1.
They clearly were who they thought they were.
RMU on the power play. Catherine Murphy not able to handle the pass. RIT counters. Lindsay Grigg going the other way, 2-on-1, finds Jess Patton and puts it past Dodds. The first shorthanded goal of the season for the Tigers, 2-1 RIT.
That must be embarrassing, huh?
That was a little bit. Second period, the Colonials late in the period. Look at this. It's just a nice, innocent little dump in. Allie Binghamton's going to go out and play the net. But look, there's Amanda Panaleo. She puts it in off of Binghamton's pads. We tie it to, spoiler alert, this one finishes tied at 2.
Do you smell that? That's another tie giving off that scent.
130 minutes of hockey and still no winner. Both teams had their fair share of chances as RIT's Allie Binghamton made 37 saves, while RMU's Jessica Dodds had to make 33 saves. Both Colonials goals were unassisted. Meanwhile, Jess Patton's shorthanded goal was the first shorty, as they call it, of the season for RIT. The Colonials will finish the regular season this weekend in Happy Valley against Penn State, looking to lock up a first-round home series in the CHA playoffs.
Now, unlike the men, the women have some ground to make up. Fortunately for them, every team in the CHA makes the tournament. Since that is the case, seeding is all too important. As it stands today, RMU would host Lindenwood at home in the quarterfinals. Mercyhurst has a stronghold at first place, while RIT and Lindenwood are secure as the bottom 2 seeds.
While the women's hockey team has received lots of on-ice recognition, sometimes it's not all about what happens on the ice. Senior defenseman Caitlin Scott has been announced as one of 5 finalists for the 2015 BYN Mellon Wealth Management Hockey Humanitarian Award. The award is given to a student athlete who makes significant contributions to not only his or her team, but also to their community. Congratulations on the nomination, Caitlin, and from all of us here at CSC, best of luck.
Hold on, I'm not ready. We're
not
told
ready.
we're told to ad lib. No, like ad lib. So that's what we're
I
gonna
can't
do.
add a lip.
Okay.
Add a lib or add a limb?
I don't know. So either way, coming up next, we're finally going to bring the story to you that you've been waiting for all night long. A total of 2,683 miles were traveled to Robert Morris, and from 2 players that have made a huge impact. No?
I don't want to spoil it.
Well, fine. Coming up next, you'll find out who. The Red Sea. They need to be able to feed themselves. Penn State couldn't beat the Colonials in a game. It truly was a shame. And then Sacred Heart pioneered.
The RMU Century Media app is your mobile resource for all news Robert Morris. With access to campus news, RMU sports, and lifestyles, as well as RMU radio and RMU TV, the RMU Century Media app allows you access to all the information you need, no matter where you are. You'll have access to thousands of articles already online, and the new ones that are added daily. Download the RMU Century Media app for free today.
Hello, I'm back. How are you?
I missed you.
I missed you too. Choo choo! They're a train that keeps on rolling. Who would win in a fight, Ditka or a hurricane? I swear, each year could become a feel-good movie for the whole family. They just aren't losing. It's a shame, isn't it? Do you know how to tame a tiger? Either grow up with them or keep one as a pet like Mike Tyson.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure being by your side.
Okay. Colorado, Texas, and California. One is 1,450 miles away, the other 1,233, and the last one being over 2,000. That's one long haul to Moon Township. Matt Cope, Brady Ferguson, and Chase Golightly of the men's hockey team made those respective treks across the country to play here. But why? Here's Haley Sawyer.
The mountains of Colorado, the beaches of California, the vastness of Texas. All of that is on the ice in Pittsburgh at the 84 Lumber Arena. Robert Morris University's men's hockey team has every direction of the United States on its roster.
Actually, it's right outside Denver, right up on the front range of the mountains, the Rocky Mountains. So, I mean, it's like half hour to the city, a half hour up into the mountains. Probably 5 minutes from the rink I learned to grow up with. It's tiny, freezing cold rink that no one really knows anymore. Mostly used for beer league games, but learned to skate there, and then moved organizations once I kind of outgrew that one. And
Temecula is in Southern California. It's in between San Diego and LA, and it started off as kind of a small town. It's grown a lot lately. They're pretty famous for the vineyards. We have a lot of vineyards out there, and
it's kind of outside of Dallas, like 35 minutes away. I actually live in Carrollton, which is kind of like a smaller suburb, I guess, of Louisville.
How did you start playing hockey, especially in Southern California?
Yeah, I started off playing soccer, and then I was riding a horse at my dad's work, and I fell off and broke my leg. And then when I was healthy, the only sport that had room was hockey. And my parents figured they needed to put me in something, so yeah, I started playing roller hockey, and then that slowly progressed. And then I made some friends that played ice hockey. Went to a birthday party, skated on the ice, loved it, and then decided to give ice hockey a try.
I was actually the only kid in my high school that played AAA hockey. So it was kind of, at high school I was one kid, and then at the rink I was a hockey kid. So it was cool to get that feel where at high school I could go. I played on the lacrosse team at my high school, so I was able to have like just a normal high school experience without the hockey side attached to it.
I'd have to miss a lot of school for hockey. I did external PE, which was, I took 3 classes, and then my 4th class was I would leave and we had practice at 4, so I'd have to race over to the rink. But I mean, everyone played other sports or like had extra time to hang out with their friends, but I was mostly would have to rush to practice, and then mostly every other Friday and Monday I'd miss school.
What initially put Robert Morris on your radar?
For me, it was, you know, I wanted to go somewhere that it wasn't big enough to where I would get in and have to wait to play. I wanted the opportunity to come in and kind of earn my spot. But having said that, I also wanted to go somewhere that was competitive, somewhere that looked like they were progressing. And so I did some research and kind of looked at the incoming classes, and Robert Morris was definitely one of those that fit what I was looking for.
Workman came and talked to me after the game and just said he was interested. And then I went to the NHL Prospects Tournament halfway through the season, and I talked to Schoolie, and I was talking to both of them on the phone for about a week, and then they offered me.
So if you could go back to your childhood and maybe choose a different sport, whether it was lacrosse or any other sport, would you have done it?
No, I definitely would have stuck with hockey. Love it more than any other sport there is. Yeah, I miss skiing, I miss the mountains, I miss hiking and all that stuff, but there's nothing like getting on the ice and playing a game.
I don't know, I tried to play football one year and I was a wide receiver and I just kind of stood there and it was boring. It didn't like please me, I guess. And I don't know, hockey's just, you're moving all the time and you gotta make plays, move your feet at the same time. And
yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I played a lot of sports. I rode dirt bikes growing up. I mean, there's nothing quite as fast and as exciting as hockey, so that's one of the reasons I love it so much.
Hockey isn't just Canada. It isn't just Minnesota, or New England, or North Dakota. It's not limited to geographic barriers. The sport crosses borders and lives in the heat of Texas and California and the landscape of Colorado, just as it does in Moon Township.
And thank you to Haley Sawyer for that story. So when we come back, we couldn't get to primetime plays last week, so this batch of splendiferous showcases of skill will be superb and stupendous. We'll be right back.
Is that even a word?
It's a word.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
We're running out of time on the show, so we're going to go to number 2 in the
Number 2, it's hoops. That's Ananiki Stemelenprue. Yes, she did get a 3.
And there she was, just walking down the street singing.
And
And that's Caitlin Perrell getting caught in front by the glove of Jessica Dodds, and she was walking down the street to the front of the net. You blew it. That was the primetime plays of the week.
John.
Upcoming schedule. We're gonna go to this weekend. Everyone's away. See all the @ signs? Internet,
On the
an
road
@ sign.
again.
So exactly, you're right. So hockey, hoops, basketball, lacrosse. You know the usual. Moving on to Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, we got lax, women's lax, and then more hoops.
More hoops. The Bearcats.
The
Cincinnati
mighty
coming to town.
Bearcats against the Hawks of the Sea in Wagner. So we're running out of time. It was a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure.
And we're going to see you all next week with some fun shenanigans ourselves. Take it easy and don't do drugs.